All right, hi everyone. Welcome to the 8 p.m. draw here at the Nutmeg Curling Club of the Crystal Snowflake Bonspiel, our women's Bonspiel that we host every other year. We're still in the first round of our A event games, 16 teams, so 8 first round games. These will be the last 3 tonight. And to start off, we're probably going to be featuring, looks like the game on sheet C, which will be Team Bentley from Albany versus Team Statkus from Plainfield. Also on the sheets tonight, on sheet A, we have the Crystal Ice Prancers. Let me get that right, from Cape Cod, skipped by Shea Austin Leary, taking on Team Avalanche. Avalanche is an Albany Plainfield Ardsley team, skipped by Deborah Martin from Plainfield. On sheet B, we have Team Lawler. Team Lawler out of Broomstone, skipped by Margaret Lawler. Facing off against Nutmeg's own Team Muldowney, skipped by Diane Muldowney. So should be some great action out there for you guys watching at home tonight. Feel free to take part in the live chat that we have here on YouTube. Our players are just getting their practice slides in. The game should start in just a couple minutes. Is it a nutmeg game tomorrow? Oh, wow, good. Have fun, guys. Who are on sheet B. Well, I don't know who will be here to broadcast. I'll have to feature that one, though. That's pretty exciting. You wanna hop on the commentary, Alfred? No. You do?
I need to put in some.
All right, we've got Alf Winter hopping into the commentary booth here for, I think, his first go at this.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So Alf just slipped that on. You might have to take off your hat. I don't know if it's okay, right? You want to talk a little bit?
It's an exciting night here at Bridgeport's Wonderland of Ice Nutmeg Curling Club Center and Media Center.
And Media Center, wow. I guess we do sort of have a Media Center now.
The preliminaries are out of the way, and they're going to throw the first rocks of Draw C.
Yeah, our third draw of the day. Still in our first round games. These are all, everyone's still in the A event. The secondary events will start tomorrow morning with what could be a weather-impacted day of curling here in Connecticut.
A well-named Crystal Snowflake.
Yeah.
And the first rocks are underway with yellow taking the front.
Yeah, it looks like red will have the hammer. It'll take me a second because I don't know these teams to figure out which team is which. But a bunch of them do have name tags. I apologize that I don't know that off the top of my head. But as soon as I could confirm that, I'm sure that some of our viewers at home know exactly who's who. I just need to look at a name tag here at some point.
We had a surprise visitor with Elizabeth Tully stepping into the media center here. Proust.
There's Elizabeth Tully just coming off the ice from a well-fought game on sheet A in the last draw. Fell behind early, came back a bit, made it a contest. We just found out they'll be playing Jacqueline Otterspor's team in the second round, so that's a Nutmeg versus Nutmeg second event battle. Nothing in play as of yet. Elizabeth, you don't happen to know which one of these teams is from Plainfield and which is from Albany, or if someone could tell us? If you...
I believe the one in the green and pink pants is from Albany, because she was chatting with our Albany team.
Ah, so we think yellow is yellow would be Plainfield, red is Albany. Is our guess. Is our best guess at this time.
That's the best guess.
Well, I'd certainly like to note that the Albany team has big points as far as the haberdashery and pants wear tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Those black and white check pants are quite to die for.
Yeah, if anyone in the live chat absolutely knows what I'm looking at here, as far as which team is which, please let me know. No live chatters yet, so.
Oh.
We have 2 viewers already a few minutes into the stream.
And I happen to know that the peacock pants on sheet A are definitely Albany as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
There was discussion at my table about the peacock pants.
Oh, I almost saw a... I was hoping we'd get someone turn around and look at us and show us a little name tag or something. That would...
I'd watch for the second coming in here.
Nothing? You got nothing. Well, that says Albany Curling Club, so I'm going to say that red is Albany, yellow is as we suspected. Well done, Elizabeth.
Marilyn Goldstein with her black check pants.
All right.
Is being called to draw behind the corner guard.
Red is Albany. That means red is Bentley. Yellow is Statkus.
Sweepers are on it. Switch color.
All right. Now we're ready to go with the scoreboard up.
Shall we switch those?
If you want to, yeah. That's, Alf helping the visual aids by making sure people know which team is which.
There we are. Yellow has a fine-looking rock coming in. Oh, it's going to be a bit short.
Yeah, we've noticed some of the teams our first end ice tends to be a bit slow here, and some of the teams have taken a little time to adjust to that.
You see the skip emphatically pointing to the side of the 4-foot behind the corner guard.
I think that means she wants it in.
I'd say so. And you tap the ice 6 to 8 times. 6 to 8 times.
Rock's coming. This one might have the speed right. It looks like possibly good weight here.
Yes. Oh, it lost handle.
It did really straighten out. Yeah, looks like it just lost handle. Stops top 4. Open.
Takeout attempt.
Looks pretty
Sweepers
good.
are on it.
Yeah, sweepers on it late.
Oh, they should be off. And
Can they get any roll? Nope, just right on the nose.
Kissed it on the nose.
Excuse me. So
Now, are these sharks? Is what I was debating before. It's a little bit.
all right.
There's a mute button if you need it.
You need a mute button? I don't have a mute button.
Is that a mute button, maybe?
You can just turn it off by holding it down.
Oh, well, I'll do that.
Yeah. You can also really whip this down to nothing, but
That's the.
we don't have an instant like cough button or anything like that. All right. So Team Bentley, Vice looking to make a hit. That would be Martha Neighbor, I believe. I don't necessarily. Could be Neighbor, I think. Shots off.
Sweepers are hard on it.
Really trying to hold this one to get a roll. They're going to make contact. Will they keep it around? They will.
Yes.
Very nice. Gets it under cover.
Buried.
Great place to have a rock with the hammer. Applause from Alf Winter here in the commentary booth. Where you can hear the crowd going wild. This reminds me of Major League, you know.
Thank you, Bob.
We have a new visitor.
And the crowd goes
man
wild.
In the house.
We'll get you in on the second end. We'll get you in after the second end.
He's gonna let you in on the second. All right.
No, after the second. 2 ends.
Oh, you get 2 ends now? Wow, this is
2 ends.
I don't think anyone agreed to this, but yes, Alf apparently wants 2 ends of coverage. That one's sliding out the back.
Oh.
Red's still sitting one with the hammer. Now looking to bury a second one, set up a big end.
Michael is the pants aficionado. What do you? How do you size up the pants wear here on sheet C?
I wish that the woman throwing, I don't know who she is, were wearing the top that her sweeper is wearing. It would be
Yes.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be a perfect
but
match.
overall, the pants game is strong. I'm in full support.
Ooh, looking good. Looking good on the
Draw
draw.
coming in here. It might be a little hot.
Oh.
They're letting it go. I think it's going to hang around.
Yeah, I like that.
Just a little deep, sticks around, back 4. Issue here is that you might be able to draw to that, get yourself out of the end here. Because right now, yellow without the hammer in a little bit of trouble if they don't make a shot. Yeah. Caitlin Statkus for Plainfield will be taking her first rock here, it looks like, coming up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hopefully Diane can get the win for Nutmeg. Don't know.
But I like the hair. That's some really good hair.
Shots away. Not sure. She might be throwing enough to tap the back one out. This one looks like it may be a little too heavy to do that, though. Not going to get the curl and going straight out the back. So red already sitting 2 has a chance to really close down the end here and make sure they get a multiple. Possibly a 3 or 4 if they play this right.
What do you think, Ed? You want to put it, say, on the top 12?
And that'd be fine, yeah. No, somewhere where if they hit it, they're not out counting either your 2 rocks right now.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Don't give them a hit or a hit and roll that would out count you. Don't be too high where they can just come around though either.
Since we were talking about fashion, I just want to comment that Ed is wearing his signature orange Syracuse hoodie.
It's true.
Matches orange style and head of hair.
Yes, I do have the red hair to go with
With
the orange
just a
shirt.
slight hint of a blue t-shirt collar, which works super well with his eyes and hair.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's also the secondary Syracuse color because it's red,
Yeah.
orange, and blue. So, in more pressing matters,
Rock is away. Sweepers are off.
Kathy Bentley is throwing her first
It's-
rock of the end.
And it's not light.
No, I think she may have also overestimated.
And they're going to sweep it out to.
Yeah. Getting a tiny bit of that red wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, but I think they were more worried about just straight removing it if it had hit without. All right, final rock without the hammer for Caitlin Statkus. Gonna need a good shot here to prevent a big end from the red giving up 2 or 3.
Well, this is your chance to cut it down or even set up a steal.
Hey, yeah, freeze. You're gonna probably
Freeze would be an
at
excellent.
worst give up 1.
Yes. Shots away.
Sweepers
on it.
quick.
They're off. Gonna
May
catch
get
a
a
corner.
piece. Not enough though.
And the yellow rolls out.
So it's just a clean draw for 3 for
And
Kathy Bentley. I have to remember
as
the
you
names
know,
for
we never miss those shots from this side of the glass.
her. Yeah, first end is always tricky. She did just throw a shot.
They're on it. Look at it curl. They're working it. That looks good. I'd safely
Here
say,
comes in.
oh, 3
A
for
little
red,
hot,
I'd say.
but it'll be in the back of the head. Or will it?
Oh,
They may get that out.
They got it.
Wow.
wow.
Just a little too much there. But hardly a disaster. Red still gets their deuce in the first, jumps out to a 2-0 lead after 1.
Are we doing on sheet?
I see over on sheet A, there is a cluster of rocks in and around the house.
I'll take a look at that house on sheet A. Okay, well. Oh, yeah, a
can't-
lot of rocks.
no.
Red looks like they're hard to say who's counting from here.
And,
We don't have easy access to the overhead camera there, so I couldn't tell you. But
and Diane Muldowney is preparing to throw her hammer on sheet B. Maybe we can focus on
sure, we
sheet
can
B,
we can take a look at that before we get back to our game here on
our feature game.
on B. It looks like
Diane, Mora holding the stick, Karen Shane.
yeah, Diane throwing her hammer rock, already sitting 1.
Might be a tap.
Throwing
I think
the
knowing
Tap would do
Diane-
it. Split would be even better.
Knowing Diane, she's going for the split.
It's curling hard.
Well, she should. That is the right call, and this is very close.
Oh yeah.
Just gonna get the 2, but that's still a nice result there. So Diane gets her 2 to get on the board to start.
All right, back to our featured sheet C.
Wild.
The first rock was a very nice center guard, about a midway between the hog line and the house,
Yeah.
just off the center line.
We missed what happened on sheet A.
Definitely still guarding a lot of the forefoot there. So it's like yellow. Team Statkus is looking to come around that guard.
Sweepers are all on it. And the rock is all on it.
Well, unfortunately, left the center guard rather than getting around, but well, it's the risk you take if you're going to come around the center guard, especially early in the game when not everyone has their draw weight down yet. Red will try to take advantage here. Team Bentley wants to bury one behind those two center guards.
Throwing the out turn. Sweepers are on it. It looks like Toto from here. Hold the line.
Really trying.
No, it's a light, coming up light.
Hardly a disaster for Bentley to throw up another center guard here.
Not in the least.
And you know what? This was a theme with our 5 o'clock game as well. It's going to be a race to the 4-foot. Because with that many guards up, I don't see these teams trying to peel their way out.
Another out turn.
Looks a little tight to me. Might get there. Might just sneak by the guard, which would be great if it can. Can they just get it by? Just a piece.
Looks like Maryland, the second, is preparing the out-turn draw. Past the wall. Shot rock's coming into the hog line. We'll see it in a moment. Looking good. Oh.
Again, just on the guard. Several shots that were close to great this end.
Like the Edmund Fitzgerald.
What a reference there from Alf Winter. I don't think we're getting any Edmund Fitzgerald jokes after the second end.
I just noted another fashion point. I don't believe I've ever seen purple laces on a Balance Plus shoe.
Okay.
And we have that on Statkus. Sort of.
Another draw into the center coming here. This one I think is getting around the guard. Nice and tight, but it's... And this one might bury nicely, actually. It's going to be a little deep, but...
Back four?
Possibly even over buried. I mean, if you can't hit it, you're going to have to follow it down. So a little deeper than they wanted, but otherwise excellent throw. And Bentley going to try to shut that rock out of counting by just coming down to it.
It's definitely wide enough this time. A lot of room.
Yeah, dig a little bit out there. Light handle could break back.
A lot of weight too, though.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Might chip it.
It's really trying to come back.
It's got it.
Got a piece, but actually just pushed it further under cover. Close to being an excellent shot, just a little too much weight.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna see Statkus try to bury a few rocks behind these mess of guards here. If they can get one like biting the top 8 or something, it'll be very hard for Bentley to bury. They may have to play some sort of run back to get at him.
Looks narrow here.
Could be just a touch tight. They don't seem to want to go, though. Maybe there's a lot of weight. Here they go now.
Yeah, they're playing the guard weight.
Yeah, it was just a little bit on the light side there. All right. Can someone make this draw to top 4? If we get one in there, it's going to be a hard rock to beat.
We're now working on the vice rocks here.
Yes, this is Bentley's vice. Is it Martha Neighbor, I believe it is. We don't, unfortunately. I apologize in advance for butchering anyone's name. It's going to happen 100 times this season, so. Thank you to our 3 viewers for watching this broadcast.
3 viewers.
Line looks good. Plenty of room. Plenty of weight, too.
Yeah, hard to say on that outer line if it's actually too heavy. It may stick nicely. Look at that thing.
Oh, look at it. Oh, what a beauty.
And it
Losing
will count.
handle. Losing handle again.
Unfortunate that it lost handle because that was going to bury perfectly. Still tucked a corner under. Not the easiest thing in the world to get rid of.
This rock a significant amount in the back there.
Oh, yes, because that was maybe just biting the house in the back. Looks like they have agreed to put it to a place where it is biting, so.
Seems to be some commotion on the ice here.
They're talking about the balloon.
The draw to the button. We have we have a draw to the button here on
did.
sheet C, and that will get them the balloon.
There is a balloon game this draw. Draw the button or you get a double, you get the balloon. You get the balloon at the end of the draw, you have a prize for your
A
team.
large helium snowflake.
Prize is a homemade.
Oh, here's a fine-looking shot, but could it jam?
That's the only problem. I think it might get a piece of it and jam right in that yellow.
No. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Red.
That's,
Turn of luck here.
Yep.
a little bit of bad luck for yellow there. Statkus was just the wrong amount of wide. Didn't want to be exactly right there.
Like seriously, I'm looking right. The only thing I could see on the.
Well,
Let's
now,
keep an eye on the handle on this shot because I think that's twice now she's thrown rocks that have lost handle.
Okay.
So could be a factor.
Team Bentley looking to consolidate here now. They're already counting one that is buried. They can put something top 4, top 8. They'll make it very hard for Statkus to score, and will set up a very likely steal. This looks nice
looking rock.
Coming in beautifully. That hard to place that any better.
Almost identical to her first shot, only this time the handle's held and it was buried.
Yep, completely buried that one.
The button is available.
Yes, and there are a few shots left, so there's time.
The last vice rock now.
Yeah, rock number 6 for Team
This is
Statkus.
Rebecca Purdy. Fine looking rock here.
Rebecca Purdy out of Norfolk helping out this other Plainfield team.
Oh, look at this rock.
This could be good. They've got to get it there. The Supers are on it.
They gotta go. Gotta go.
Go all the way. Gets it to the top 8. Not counting. Not a terrible place to be because you can actually use that to remove a red rock later.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think red, yes. They're just looking at throwing up that guard to close down the center of the ice. Because why not?
A wise play without hammer.
Certainly.
So the skip is like how she's moving briskly back to the hack, not lollygagging, keeping the pace of the game up.
You enjoy those pace of play measures, don't you?
Small things that keep the game moving.
They are important.
The rock was already positioned in the hack for her by her loyal and faithful front end. That's a fine-looking guard coming this way. Plenty of room. I think they have negated that rock on the top 12 with a perfectly placed guard off the center line.
That looks very nice.
A skip stream to be throwing a center guard for her first rock.
Yeah, there is room to get around that. And tough shot, but you could get around there and get to the button. Or full four and be counting. I think that's really the only shot to throw here.
But that pretty much took away the run back, unless they want to go very fancy.
Yeah. No, I think it's draw in now around the guard that was just thrown.
That is a tight portal she has there.
Yeah. Anyone looking will say, you might say the port itself is not super tight, but to get by the outside red guard and then not get to the yellow in the house is the tricky part.
Mm-hmm.
our ice does not. I mean, if you throw a solid handle, it won't curl up so much that you can't do it. But it would be tight on both sides, I think.
Ed, are you throwing a 3 revolution draw these days, or the 4 revolution draw?
3.5, Alf. Come on. No, okay. None of us are necessarily so perfect that we throw the same rotation every time, but I try to give it at least that 3.5 with the new rocks, because kind of hard to be consistent with the. If you throw too light a handle, these rocks really do tend to glide.
Sweepers are on this rock.
Oh yeah, it looks like it might be right on the guard, huh? A little tight.
Could be a tap.
Square on the nose.
Could you tap
Look
tap?
at this.
Just not quite.
It's gonna get a piece of that yellow.
Oh, it did get enough.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, folks. The double tap back was played.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was called, but we'll say it was.
Based on the body language, I don't think that was a called shot.
Now, Skip Bentley's going to have to decide if she wants to force the issue or lock it down to let the Hammer team take one.
Sure. I mean, it's still not entirely clear who's. I think it's yellow, but it's not entirely clear who's counting. It looks to be yellow, but it's pretty close. Well, while we're waiting,
It's absolutely yellow.
it's absolutely yellow, says Michael Parker. We're gonna look at that replay again because that was an exciting shot.
That was an exciting shot. Oh.
Sorry, that's not the shot at all we were looking for. That's
that was
from
a nice
last
run back, though.
That was a nice shot, but it was from last draw. So I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, to be frank.
The broom set out in the middle of the 8-foot.
So apologies. I think I see what we did, but
Another out turn. I think every shot this end has been the out turn. She wiggled a bit. Rocks away. Plenty of room. Oh, can she clear the hog line with this? I think we have a hog.
yeah, looks like this may not get there. Super's really digging, but it's going to come up a bit short. So
Now, she bobbled a bit on the delivery, and sometimes that's enough.
sorry, guys, some instant replay malfunctions there. See if I can get that shot, just for the sake
We have a
of.
few moments here. Absolutely.
No, it's the same. All right, so we're having some issues with this. I'm not.
Actually, surprisingly hard to hear.
Anyway,
Like
we'll work on that later.
Now, Skip Statkus can try the run back again, but the downside of that would be if she noses her own yellow, she's going to lose the point. I think she's going to try a little test shot into the board. And Team Statkus will walk away with one.
Yep, looks like instant agreement there that it's one
And
after three.
I'm going to switch over to the radio side now and turn the color commentary over to Michael Sharker Parker. So, good curling all.
They're very comfortable.
They are very comfortable.
Thank you, Alf. So after 2, Statkus of Plainfield leads 2-1.
Sorry, they're actually trailing 2-1. As it turns
Trails 2-1.
out. As our very fine scoreboard shows, it's they took one in the second and will now
Right.
be leading off the third, looking for a centerline guard.
So what do you think happened on that last shot for the skip? Do you think that was just a fresh line that they didn't know the weight of and just came down a little too light?
For Bentley on their
Yeah.
guard on the last shot, most
Right.
likely, yeah. It looked like they just didn't have the weight down.
Somebody got the news.
Well, they hadn't been playing that line all end, I think.
No. That was, you said, might have very well been just a new line that they underestimated how much weight they needed.
Right. It's tough on nutmeg ice. Very line
Yes.
specific, the weight. Especially early in the game.
We didn't get anything up on the first rock.
I have no score.
Now Bentley looking to looked like the call was for what was either. Looks like she wants a tight corner guard if she can get one now. Although this
Look-
one's struggling to get over the.
Very narrow and light. It was curling immediately out of her hand.
Yeah. So we had 2 hogs to start the third end. So we'll try again with the second rock to start.
So in the case where there's not a lot of rocks in play early in an end, which team usually benefits from that scenario?
It depends a bit. The scoring is likely to be down, so it's usually the team that's winning that's happy about it, more so than either the first or second team. When you get to high level play, it makes blanks a lot more likely. At the club/Bonspiel level, it still makes
That was 21.
big ends less likely, and
That was 21
ones
seconds.
and twos are more likely to happen when you don't have any rocks in play.
6 feet per tenth of a second. How far was it?
All right, well, we got the center line guard up now for Statkus that they wanted. And Bentley's just going to try to come right around there.
That's about 22-second ice there. Start dealing with now.
I know which teams are playing on.
I'll go give you a well. He's on. I'll give you a report.
Were you looking for tomorrow's schedule? Or?
No, I was asking about so we could give some updates on the other sheets. I just wasn't here for the start of the game, so I'm not up to speed on what teams. are
We
where.
have a draw here.
Oh,
Alpha's
okay.
gone to look for us, but you can see those bottom 3 games. I do not know.
Well, but I don't know where they're from.
Yes, on sheet B, we can be fairly sure who's who. All right. As we head into second rocks, we have a few guards up now, a couple of corner guards and a center line guard for Statkus. Looks like both teams are going to be looking to race to the forefoot again. As we said, theme of the night, race to the forefoot.
Do you think that's strategically because the teams at this spiel all kind of have the same game plan? Or do you think that's maybe a factor of that's more the style of women's curling at the club level? Or what do you think is the reason for that?
I think there's a few factors. I think what you said there about style has something to do with it, probably. More likely just to get in there, because you're not going to see, certainly if you've been watching like Canadian trials, you're not going to see the kind of runbacks and doubles and triples you would see there. And that makes it harder to get out of trouble if either team gets into the center and there's a couple guards up. Some of it has been dictated just by how the beginnings of the ends played out too, where a couple rocks come up short and now there's like 3 guards out front. Well, if the center's never going to be opened up, you might as well get there, because you're in a lot of trouble if the other team gets there first.
Update on sheet 2. B.
Now here we have a rock coming in for Statkus that may actually get right in there. And, just caught a piece of the guard and ends up into their center line.
So an update on the other sheets. On sheet A, the Crystal Ice Prancers from Cape Cod are leading 2-0 over the Avalanche of Albany, Plainfield, and Ardsley. And on sheet B, team Diane Muldowney is leading 2-1 over Team Lawler from Broomstones. Home ice advantage.
Oh, absolutely.
Karen Shane is about to deliver a takeout punch.
I think they might be playing the tap here, actually.
That's what it looks like. It seems to have plenty of weight. They're holding
I
off
think they
of
might
it.
be outside, too.
Yeah, it might end up being a draw.
On that line that hasn't been thrown, I think, yes, and it may actually even dig in behind the guard. A little deep, but from the hacks, you're not going to see much of that. So with the hammer, Bentley has a counter deep in the house. It went deep, far enough back where if yellow should freeze, red could still play for their 2, so that's not too bad a place to be.
Yeah, I think yellow is wise to continue to try to achieve the 4-foot in the center.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they're going for that again.
Looks like a tap.
This also could be a tap.
I think it doesn't have the weight, though.
Well, sweepers are off it. But yeah, you're right. It's just not quite there for the tap.
Well, this is getting to be a bad situation for yellow with the entire center of the house locked up. All red has to do is to tap their stone at the top left of the house in, and yellow's in a heap of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, there is a port there to draw. It's a small one for yellow. They could play a double tap, but the shots are getting harder for sure to put something in the 4-foot themselves. And I think, yeah, red's again going to play that tap or draw if it doesn't materialize as a tap here.
Tap would be a wondrous thing.
The stone looks like it has plenty of weight to promote the stone. Now, whether it will stay around is the question.
Well, they're on it quick because that thing's diving. They're by the yellow.
Oh, could they wick in?
Well, I'm going to throw a second rock in the house. It is wide open now.
Several shots wide open.
Does open up the possibility of hit and roll for yellow here to get out of trouble if they can make it. Or just a straight draw depending on what they're comfortable with. It looked like they might be calling for the draw. Hard to say.
Yeah, I think that's a draw.
I agree.
Well, might be a heavy draw.
They have a lot of things to end up on back there if you don't.
Right. But on that line, they're going to have to predict that it's going to come down and wait.
Yeah,
I think they've waited a little too long.
It's coming in. Still has a chance, but it might be just a little too light. Yeah. I think we're going to end up 2 or 3 feet short of the house. Well, might just get a biter, but still not enough to outcount anything. Not quite biting.
Promotable.
Oh, sure.
Red might think of addressing it. Let's put the clock on this rock. We got a hog to stop time and see what we can do.
It seems red is pretty worried about this rock at the top of the house on the side. They're probably going to remove it. It's a little bit dangerous, though. They could certainly crash on the back and leave a yellow in the house.
I felt like it looked like she was motioning for the guard, but she's not giving a lot of ice, so it must be a hit now. Yeah.
No, she changed her mind, I think.
Gotcha.
Digging in the hack here.
I'm surprised. I thought the guard was probably the safer play.
Certainly safer. If you have confidence in your player to make the hit, that's fine.
Oh, this is trouble.
Not good.
Could get to the inside of it and crash on something. Yeah. Okay, removes second rock and opens up the first rock. Yeah, this could help yellow get out of some trouble here without the hammer. They can hit the red, especially if they get a little roll, sit 1-2, and at least guarantee they don't give up a big end here.
Yeah, that shot rock is in the back of the house, and I think it's pretty much fully accessible for the skip here.
Yeah.
Greedy there. Yellow with hammer tried taking out a rock sitting on the top 12, and it didn't go well. Could have guarded it. Sitting 2.
You live, you learn, right?
Yes, you do.
All right, yellow skip Caitlin Statkus getting into the hack, looking to, I believe, to remove that red counting rock in the back.
A little bit down weight here.
Lost some balance on it.
This looks like it might be a draw.
Could be a draw, or it could just be down to that red, which would be good too if it'll get there.
Oh, I don't
Sweepers
think this...
are on it, but I think it might be just light, huh?
Yeah, I don't think this has a chance.
I think it has a chance.
Now they're out. They gave up.
They're off it now. Now they had to stay on it.
That was not good this time.
Oh, they just got off it a little early.
It's not all bad. That is certainly a promotable shot.
Oh, absolutely. Makes it a lot harder for red to find a way to get a deuce here, because
Yeah.
they have this hit and roll. That's what they're looking
I
for.
think the hit and roll is all red really has at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the outside.
Unless they would like to guard, because they are still shot rock. But
Sure.
then they would leave a run back for yellow as well.
Or yellow off their own, or a bunch of shots yellow could try to just
Yeah.
hit and roll here. You're at least going to be, you'll be 1 buried and 2nd in the back.
Yeah, they handle this wide takeout.
Yeah, I think the most beneficial scenario here is the one they're trying to create, which is to eliminate that yellow and reduce the chance for 2. Try to force yellow to take 1.
Sure. Well, red has the hammer here, so red is trying to.
Oh, they are on it, and it's not wide.
Well, this is trouble. If they were to hit their shot rock in the back.
No, I think they got the inside of that yellow.
Oh, yes, they did. Oh, they got it.
Very nice rock.
Oh, nice rock.
Well done.
Very nice.
Beauty rolling it to the back 4, but well under cover. In fact, while there's a hole through the guards that red in the top 12 adds the last little bit of protection you need. There's no way to get to that rock.
No way.
Now yellow does sit 3rd. They could play a tap.
The last rock, right?
No, this is yellow's last rock without hammer.
Well, I think the promote is really all that yellow can do.
Yeah, you probably can't get to that back red, so it's the promote.
There's not any reds accessible to hit that would reduce the count at the moment.
Right.
Did you know the Crystal Snowflake is named for the famous Crystal ice rink in Norwalk that's no longer there?
Did not know that.
A dive of a rink if ever there was one. I think there was a column in the ice. And this is a skating rink. Hockey rink.
That was the rink that lended its name to the Crystal Rink Old Curler Society Crocs League on Sunday afternoons that ran for many, many, many years.
It's also the rink where my friend Joe Delco, in order to drum up fan support for Fairfield Ludlow hockey, guaranteed the fans one night if they came down, he would start a fight.
Okay. Thank you for that information.
And he did, and he was that kind of hockey player. Joe, this is for you.
Well, this shot seems to have plenty of weight to achieve what they're looking for.
It may also be wide, however.
Plenty of room.
Really, all they have to do is get down to the back red even.
Yes.
That'd be a good result.
I think it's just going to hang the whole way.
Wide.
Yeah, it does not want to work. Even if it sits 3rd, it's better than nothing. Well, the only thing that does is it makes sure you're not giving up more than 2 anymore, because there's no way to. Sorry, not giving up more than 3, because you can't just remove one of the.
Yeah,
yellows.
now I think yellow. Yeah,
draw.
I think red will just draw down.
Yeah, and you
backing.
have that yellow for backing and your own red for backing, so.
Right.
Michael liked the sound of me finishing my drink.
We need to record some of those so we can start playing sound effects.
Up to 5 viewers now. Hello, all our fans out there.
Drawing for 2 also. Sweepers are all on it.
All right, final shot on the way here for Team Bentley.
Come on, sweep. Oh, dear.
They've got to go. It may be
Everybody's
light.
gotta go.
They're really trying to push it in there. They're working it, but looks like it might just come up short. Oh, good effort. Comes up about a foot short. So that'll still be a 2 for Red, making the score 4-1 Bentley after 3 ends.
I believe Diane Muldowney has drawn with hammer to get 2 on sheet B, making that score 4-1. Textbook curling. Take 2. Give them 1.
All right, I am just gonna see if the instant replay worked last end. No, we're having some issues with the instant replay, so we won't worry about that for now. Not sure what happened there, but sorry.
Well, unless there's calamity among our 5 viewers, I think they'll appreciate just our commentary.
I would hope so. I would hope.
Cod's leading off on sheet A on the 3rd end, so they probably took another point, maybe, or blank.
There appears to be a measure on sheet B.
Oh, yes.
Looks like it's for a second counter for yellow.
I think Diane already had 2. This might be for the 3rd point.
So I apologize, a little more experimentation here. It is our first night of official streaming. Yeah, I'm not sure why that keeps happening. Oh well. Oh well. Minor instant replay glitches. We'll figure it out. Oh, well, now I know why, because we did not have the instant replay on.
Oh.
That's why it keeps playing the last event, which was from last game. Apologies. Rookie mistakes. Rookie mistakes.
It's going to stick around. Do you think, Mike?
This will hang back 12 for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Back 8 even. Nice shot. Probably about a quarter buried. I think red or yellow's just going to draw right down in front of that.
Yeah. Yellow with the hammer here would probably even be happy just to be top, out counting it.
Right. They don't even
Behind
need
the
to be in
guards.
front of it, just buried behind the guards.
Either in front or behind. Yeah, you got to be.
Yeah. This looks quite heavy. They'd really like to roll away from the guards if this is going to be a hit.
It's slowing down, but it's going to take it out.
Pretty close to nose.
Right on the nose.
Bop.
Now the problem with that shot is that red can just come down and sit right on the nose and be in control of the forefoot.
Yeah, I mean, it's far enough back that there's going to be room, but yeah, still makes it tough on yellow.
Especially with the hammer, they don't want to create a situation where their rocks are behind the tee line.
No, certainly not.
This is also hot.
Might be a bit wide, too.
Yeah. This is going to have to curl miraculously to make contact with the yellow.
Big weight.
Probably about board weight.
Slowed down. Oh, just almost got a piece there. Probably more fortunate that it didn't get a piece, because if it just barely ticked it, it was going to just push it
Right
behind those guards.
Well, now yellow has an opportunity to really guarantee some points here in this end.
Yeah. Yeah, one doesn't have to even be quite so deep. If you get one half buried under the red, it'll protect everything.
And even, exposed,
Yeah,
creates some pretty good angles.
absolutely.
This one looks narrow, right out of hand to me. Oh, they can't crash on this guard. But it looks like they will.
Yeah, I think
They're
that's
going to
right on
open
the
it up.
card.
It's not all bad. I think they're still half buried after
Yeah,
that
they're
shot.
probably a little more buried than they were before.
There's certainly a hit through the port on the other side.
You've also now left a centerline guard, which is not
Yeah.
exactly what you want to do there. But if there's a red miss, then yellow can end up using that to their advantage. So they can go top 4, top 8, and just...
Correct. Well, I think Red's plan here is to try to shoot through the port, but worst comes to worst, peel it open so that they have more access to the forefoot.
Well,
They're going to peel the center. They want to roll theirs as far as they can.
again,
There they go. That's pretty good.
well,
We got an update on sheet B here.
it was a...
Measurement worked in Diane's favor, and she's leading 5-1 after 2 ends.
5-1, Diane Muldowney leads on sheet B. Sheet A, Cape Cod continues to lead with another steal, 3-1 over the Albany multi-team.
The multi-team.
Albany, Plainfield, and Ardsley.
Ah, yes.
Is this Teak Washington their second for the Plainfield team, Statkus?
This shot looks a little heavy. Probably going to come down and tap their own yellow back.
Yeah, I do not think it's going to remove anything. It's just going to be right to it. It may actually just be a dead freeze. Close to it. Tapped it a few inches.
Well, that's actually really trouble for yellow because now red can just come down and sit right on the button with 2 stones of backing.
Yes.
And in that situation, it's going to take at least 2 stones to remove that red.
Oh, well, that's nice, because they were really cheering for you.
Red can even afford to be a little short here just so that they control the forefoot.
That's true, that may be the weather. Where are you staying? You didn't want to stay at Casa Winter, huh? You're saving that.
The shot looks wide and a little heavy.
Actually, it would be a problem now because my mother.
Sweepers are remaining off of it the whole way
She's
down.
not moving yet. A little heavy.
Looks like they may remove 1 yellow if they're lucky,
They
but
may
the
at
red
least get a piece, but I think it's just going to open it up for yellow. And well,
Yeah.
red's at
sitting
second.
I don't know that is all that important.
It completely
right now.
buries the shot rock, though.
Yeah.
It may behoove yellow to put 1 top 4 in front of that yellow so red can't freeze onto it.
Yeah, she can stick.
Top 4, top 8, top 12 sticking out a bit. Doesn't, as long as it would prevent that freeze,
It looks like
that'd be good.
Looks
They're
like
playing
the
the hit,
the called shot is to take out the second stone.
Hit and sit 3.
I should drag rocks.
Sweeping red out of hand looks like it's narrow.
Yeah. I might get to play the flash song here.
I think they got it though. I don't think it's a flash. They're just gonna hit and roll out. Roll
So they'll
into
still
theirs.
sit 2.
Yep, still sitting 2.
City 2. Pretty well covered. Still the
I
draw
should
is
say
there.
now sitting 2 because they were first and third earlier.
The draw's still there.
Yeah, red really needs to stick a draw here. They've struggled so far in this end to find the weight. They've been heavy on almost every shot.
Even to get it into the 8 foot. That was a double here, but taking your own out doesn't count as a double, does it?
No, I would think not. Some discussion as to what counts for the balloon
Diane's,
prize in the warm room.
Diane's setting herself up for trouble.
Shots away for red. They're really trying to make this draw around the guard.
Looking good. Looking good. Hard,
It's close.
guys,
They gotta go hard.
No, they're on it. They're on it.
Just getting a piece of that guard.
Opening this up isn't the end of the world.
No, you open it up, you leave the center guard, which gives you a bailout if you get in trouble. So,
Right.
Diane now has Mora With a nice
That's
basket
good.
to drop one in. No room.
Yellow once again in a position where they can really put a good lock on the end. The skip's thinking about what to do here. I like, well, she's looking at maybe throwing up a guard on her 2 rocks. I like that. It can be biting. It can be, that's actually not even that bad where she's looking at, because if you manage to put one sort of just edge to edge with the,
Now, do you agree with coming from this side rather than through the
I don't think
port?
so, because I think that red rock's right in the path she's trying to throw, the center guard. Maybe not. I mean, she may just curl by it. She may be looking to go around it and just fully bury, which is okay.
Oh, but the pro side miss is to leave a guard in the port, which you were looking at anyway.
Right.
This looks like it's going to be a little bit short.
I think this is going to be nice. If anything, they need to get off it. Does not have to outcount anything, so it can be pretty high.
Actually, this is a fantastic draw to the button.
That's a beautiful draw.
It's
well
still gonna be fairly exposed. I'd say at least half.
Now, here's the thing. It's actually perfectly okay to be half exposed there, because any hit rolls to the open side, unless they were going to try to freeze to it, which would make it hard for yellow to get a big end here. But that's a do-or-die shot they probably don't need to make with a 3-point lead. So looks like she's going to play a soft weight hit or something with that line. Although that's similar to the line they took for the draw, so maybe she does just want to come and tap it. Not sure.
I think the shot call may be the corner freeze.
Okay.
And, you know, if they end up getting the tap, the problem is that then they're exposed and can just be peeled out.
Right.
But the angles are pretty good for red if they can put a rock at the top 4.
Yes, even if you, well, that's the other thing, even if you tap it softly, you're probably not exposing your whole rock, and then all the hits jam into the yellows that are behind the tee lines. So.
Correct.
Slow down. Oh, no.
Let's keep the commentary to one sheet, Al. We'll update.
I'm off mic. It doesn't matter.
Well, we can hear you. We're sitting right here. It's fine to update us every once in a while, but like, you know.
Oh, red just catches the guard again. Well, that's less than ideal with your first skip rock. Yellow's sitting 3. I mean, they throw one just...
Well, I think in the situation yellow's in, down 3, they could be aggressive and play in, but I think probably what makes most sense is for them to be a little conservative and to put up a guard and try to escape with a 2 or a 3 here.
That's fine, yeah. I'm not even sure coming in is overly aggressive. You can't be deep. Put something in that port's fine. I mean, they were looking at guarding the tap. I'd rather guard just the open draw here and let them make that tap if they're going to. I mean, you can't guard everything.
Yeah, the tap is certainly the number 2 shot here, I think. I think this port is the number 1 for red.
Sure. I mean, if we look back at the house, that red's probably just barely biting the house. It doesn't. Yeah, if you throw this at.
It would have to have hack weight to move that yellow back far enough to be shot after.
Pretty close to it. Yeah, I mean, you're almost taking it on the nose. Back line's probably enough to count.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about half buried under this center guard?
Well, I like that. That's actually what I was saying. I think you leave it like top 12 half buried.
Yeah.
And you don't
So you're sitting 4.
And you don't leave very much, because that even makes the freeze to the 4 and the yellow rock in the back a little tougher.
What can go wrong, however?
Well, the pro side miss would of course be short, I think, to leave the guard.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really stand much chance of opening it up significantly.
It's pretty good. Down weight.
Line looks pretty good. I think the weight's down. They're definitely getting a guard out of this.
If they don't
It's it looks like it's going sideways.
that's not bad at all.
They'd love to get a little bit of a sideways roll off.
Oh, a tiny wick off the guard. It's not quite gonna. Maybe it'll get there just.
That's a fine shot.
No harm done there. And 1 shot left for red to try, which is what they're looking at. This tap back.
Even cutting them down to 2 would be useful for red.
So they've played this line a couple times, and they've struggled in previous ends with weight being heavy. So hopefully this line for red won't be too much of a trouble to get the weight they need. They just need to make sure they're not too wide and get out in the frost, because it definitely is playing slower out in the wings on this sheet. That route looks pretty good. It may be a little wide.
Final rock at the end away for Team Bentley.
Sweepers are up, which means it probably needs to curl.
Here it comes. It's slowing down.
You have a chance to jam on the back yellows as well.
They're going to need a piece of this.
Very nice.
Oh, and that's too bad. They're going to set third, I think.
Yeah. They set third. That second yellow is just out counting it. So we've got 2 for yellow and an open draw for 3, where we never like to say you can't make it worse, but very low risk draw for 3. We'll put it that way.
Plenty of backing. They have about 3 feet of ice to work with behind their yellow that's in already. And if they're any off nose, they're probably not going to carry it far enough to be outcounted by the red on the right side of the house. You can hear Alf Winter cackling in the background. Oh, on sheet B, there is a conglomeration of stones along the center line in the house. Looks to be red sitting 1 with the yellow directly behind it.
This is a good looking draw we have here. Just like you called it, Michael. Just like you drew it up.
Oh, this is going to be perfect if it hits about a quarter of the rock.
And
it
I think
won't
it
carry.
No, it's not going anywhere.
Oh, no. Oh, man. I think it just rolled a little too much to...
Just carried a little too much weight into it.
Yeah.
Too bad. It was a good effort. Missed it by about a foot.
Just an inch or 2 of line or a foot less weight would have...
Yep, exactly.
Would have had it.
Tune in on sheet B for Diane's.
Do you want me to... All right, we can...
This is going to be interesting. There's a lot of
We can fly rotate into sheet B.
Ooh. Our viewers, thank you, Ed.
And take a quick look at...
Diane throwing her last rock without hammer.
Okay.
Looks like this might be a tap back to sit 2.
Yeah.
Probably going to come down onto the red on the right side of the button. Just give it a little bit of a tap. Sit 1-2.
It's pretty light. It looks like a guard maybe.
And wide. They need to get across the center line.
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up just guarding, that's hardly the end of the world here. It'll be a very difficult 2 for yellow.
You know, we haven't been with this sheet. This may actually have been the called shot to throw the guard.
Oh, certainly it could have been. She may be happy just to lock down the scoring area where it's, what are you throwing, the tap on the yellow for 2 maybe? If you're...
I still think the draw is there.
Now, if you wanted to get 3, there is actually a shot for yellow to get 3, but it's a hell of a shot.
That's really tough. I don't know if the angles line up well enough to do that.
Well, you're actually hitting both reds is the idea. You're going to wick off the red on the yellow. You're going to run your yellow back into the red on the bottom of the screen as you see it.
Yeah, I can
come
see.
Across and pop out to your head. You probably send your yellow back too, but everything jams in the back. So you have to throw a ton of weight. I think she's looking at it though. I think that's the shot they're calling. This is exciting.
I think she's calling the direct hit, not the double.
Okay, well that would be for 2 then.
Right.
If you make it perfect.
Possibly. No, definitely 2 because the red.
Red's second and third right now.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking at the more difficult but perhaps more
Whose shot would you say?
rewarding shot.
Red is shot currently.
By millimeters.
Yes.
Yeah, but certainly shot.
But yeah, you can definitely tell red is shot here. Should yellow make this, it would be... you can also make it for 1. You can just jam on the red, and you're probably rolling back to the middle. So
yeah.
or even not rolling and just staying where you are will get you one.
I don't really see a scenario here unless yellow gets extremely unlucky and picks their rock off the back button. Could give 2.
Yeah, very hard to do that. I think usually you're losing the red if you do that. Well, the shot's on its way, so we'll find out.
This looks light. Oh,
It's
they
pretty
may
close.
get the shot that Ed called.
It's pretty close.
They picked it off.
Oh, they did pick it off. Oh, no.
Oh,
So
a
it'll be-
tragedy.
Well, it'll be 2
Oh,
red.
no.
So it'll be, that'll end up being 2 red. Very close to an amazing shot there. On, like they were inches from a shot for 2 or 3 there. We'll go
Really-
back to the game on C.
Really, truly unlucky to have that shot happen.
Oh, I think we just had a guard zone violation.
Okay, let's update the score here on C. Yeah, as we pick up the C action, it looks like yellow's got a rock on the top 4 with looking to guard that now.
Well, yellow so far in this end has supreme control over the house. No red rocks in play. They have
Yeah.
a chance to really lock down the 4-foot here and make it extremely difficult for red to come back without the hammer and make something happen.
All right. So yellow has their center line guard. They have the classic steel setup already. And we'll see what red does to try to get.
So here's a change in tactic, huh?
Well, red has the hammer now. They're looking to.
But we
it up.
haven't really seen many peels this game so far.
No, I think the quality of the yellow rock back there is being on the top 4, top button.
A little bit eye-catching for red. Unfortunately, this shot is hanging wide. It has not enough weight. It might even pick off the back yellow.
I think it's going to.
Oh, if it just sneaks by the guard,
Oh, my word.
picks out the back yellow.
Cleaned it out.
What a shot.
A fortunate result for red here.
And questionable, but actually
There
might
looks
even
like a
be
biter.
hanging on the
Looks like a biter for
back. Tough to say with our cameras when they're in the back, but I would guess
That is a game
that it is a biter. Heck of a shot.
It's certainly in. The way our cameras are set up, they kind of fisheye away.
Yeah.
And if you can't see any white from here, it's
Then it
certainly
must
going to be in.
Yeah.
If you could see white, you'd then be a little bit suspect as to whether it's in or not because we
Sure.
can see under the rock a little bit.
Sure. All right, yellow trying to put that rock back now.
This looks like a really nice shot.
Nice shot. Nice.
Just got to sneak it by the guard. They did.
So easy.
Oh, what a fantastic draw by the second.
Wonderful draw. Got at least a bit buried back there.
Same shot.
Yellow's going to play another hit. Could be picking that one out again. I mean, now you can play the clean hit because you can see like 3/4. Peeling the guard is also excellent.
Well, based on her last shot, she's got this in her artillery.
Yeah, she can play the same shot as before. It'll do.
I'd say this time.
Yeah, a little less line, so it should work out.
I think she's on the guard this
Oh.
time, unless they really switch.
She's got it passed. This is going to be really nice. It's going to sit in the corner for them, too.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
Great
Red
shot.
now with
Control weight clinic there.
2 counters on the right side of the sheet, outside of the
Changing in the end.
center.
I have to say, so far in this game, I think the seconds have been performing probably the best of the positions. They've been going back and forth.
Sure. A lot of good shots made by them.
Two.
To put a name to the face for those seconds who are performing so well,
Maryland Goldstein.
Team Bentley, who just threw, is Marilyn Goldstein. And for Team Statkus, it's Teak Washington.
Uh-oh.
Nice
Oh,
shots, just field goes right through the 2 of them. Unfortunately, did not make contact with the red there. Things have quickly changed. Yellow looked like they had set up nicely for a steal potentially, and now red has already 2 in. And
That's the power of playing a down weight takeout. You can really make things curl and get stuff that you really didn't expect to be able to get.
oh, absolutely.
And I think this is a little bit of the trouble that the yellow has been having, is they've been a little hot on a lot of their draws and takes, and they've kind of seen a lot of things flash or kind of wick out on them.
What are we calling here? A guard on that front?
Looks like weight-wise, this might be a tap.
Yeah, she looked like she was signaling for a tap, maybe even a split.
Actually, a split would be beautiful.
Oh, they need to hit it now for line.
Nice.
Oh, the angles are lining up to create a direct back tap, which would be pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad result at all. Red's sitting 3 now.
They probably would have preferred to send that back to the button. What do you think, Ed?
I imagine they were looking to at least get one of them to roll towards the middle behind the guard. Leaving these two here does leave the hit and roll option if
Perhaps even a double and roll, huh?
possibly. The angle's tough to double and stick around. Shots incoming, certainly a hit. Looks like it was a little outside. I think they might be able to get something out here, though. I don't think it's...
Oh, this might be a double on the back one.
Catches one. Oh, almost.
Knocked it out.
And did not quite get it out of there. Alf, you're underestimating how much the mics pick up. No.
No.
Bad, Alf. Bad. We're scolding Alf. Yeah, hit Alf with the paper.
Well, it looks like Red's going to attempt to draw in here. You know, they have the same shot that they just threw, and it was fairly well executed. They just need a little more line. But
Sure.
I think maybe they're getting back into this mode of racing to the forefoot, and they don't want to mess with any tap angles. They just want to try to straight draw.
Yeah, sure. Keeping things simple here.
Particularly because if you do the tap, you may give a draw down to it through a port. Whereas
Sure.
if you just take the top of the 4 now, yellow's going to really struggle to outcount that shot.
Yeah, the way the port's small enough that depending on where you left this, if you left it like half buried behind the yellow,
Oh, the
only way
sweepers are hitting this as it dives toward the center, and they may want to come up because they're going to promote the yellow in if they're not
they're going to
careful.
touch the yellow. I don't think they're going to hit it on the nose or anything, so they should be all right. Yeah. Not what they were looking for, but certainly didn't do any damage. Red can still play the hit and sit second behind the guards, or even if you really made it perfect, maybe roll in a bit. And
So what do you think the shot is here for yellow?
I mean, I do think you hit the top one and roll behind the guards. Even if you sit second, you're not in such bad shape.
Well, it's not the shot they're calling.
They can go
Looks
after the
like-
back one or down to the back
Yeah, it
one
looks
too.
like
Those
they're
are all
going
very
down to the back
reasonable options. You can just draw behind those. That yellow guard is pretty high. You could really bury behind it here on the left side of the house.
Now, do you think the shot selection might be because Caitlin Statkus just prefers to throw the draw rather than the hit?
I don't know Caitlin at all, but it's certainly possible. I mean, these shots are all reasonable, so you get a skip who has a preference for a shot. They can throw this. Also, they're down by 1, so why not play to steal here? You make a nice shot. You're going to make it difficult for Red to score at this point. It's not easy to get to the forefoot.
This is a bit of a spinner, so it's probably going to run fairly straight, but the line looks okay. Sweepers are hitting it now, most likely for weight.
It just gets by the guard. Now they got to let it go. They might have had to stay on it for a line.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Just catches a piece, rolls behind, and sits shot.
Nice shot.
Very nice. Going to be
Well
very
executed.
Absolutely. Yellow now sitting 1, back 8. Red certainly has ways to play for 2 here, or more. I mean, they can try running something if they really want to try to put the game away. But you could also just come around that wide yellow yourself, sit 2 without, sit 1 and try to get your 2 that way.
It
Still
looks
some
like the ice they're giving is probably for a run back.
run back or a tap at least.
Or a tap.
Yeah.
Looks like a heavy tap.
Anything that counts 1 here gives you a chance for 2 because it's well, that yellow rock was a nice shot. And it does cut down some of the danger here. It still leaves plenty of room for red to work with.
Right. This shot looks a little bit down in weight. The sweepers are going to really have to pull this.
Yeah, they are really working on it right out of the gate.
Now, there may be a draw here if they end up a
also
little
be.
light.
Could still be enough for the tap. I'm not sure. It's close. It only has to tap it about a foot.
It's on the inside now.
That's going to be the bigger problem, I think. The weight was close, but did not hit it nose. And
Oh.
All right, so red is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Yellow really will want to put a second one in, I think, just not to give red the opportunity to throw a run back for potentially for 5.
Well, they just threw this line. I
Sure.
think they have a really good chance with red still backing to be able to sit 2 here.
Oh, certainly. Then you put red under some pressure, too. You make them make a draw against 2.
Right. Now, interestingly, red does have a double tap to possibly get there, 2 on the stones they just threw.
That's true. You might be able to do that. You might be able to split them. It would be. I don't know that you can the way they're angled. If we go back to the house view,
You'd have to hit about a third of the front one and kind of
Maybe
roll
less.
on. Yeah. Probably with back line weight.
back line, and you just hit a quarter or less of that first red.
Well, this
Anyway.
looks like really nice shot from Caitlin.
Yep, hanging out a bit, but as long as it gets back to the 8 foot, they're in fine shape. They are looking at the weight. I think the weight's there.
Might have gotten in a little frost. Yeah,
yeah.
It looks like they're going to come up short.
Oh yeah, it's close. They had to go. All right. I think it sits 3rd. I think they are 1 and 3. It's close, but
So interestingly,
certainly 1 in the back.
red now has that same shot to try to come down and possibly tap that yellow back and might get 4.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think it would be for 4. I really don't think the top red is out counting that yellow, the one that's nearest to the center line.
Yeah, I think you're right.
This one hard to tell on our cameras because of the fish-eyeing, but
Well, you're always going to assume that the stone in the back of the house looks further than it really is.
yeah. Could just be looking at a tap for 1 though. I mean, that yellow is overburied. The one in the back that you'd have to tap out. I mean, it's
Yeah, by at least 3/4 of a rock.
yeah.
Now, is this a situation where a pro, if they were trying to make that shot that we were just talking about, could they selectively throw a lighter handle to try to encourage?
Absolutely. If you had the kind of ice they have where it curls it really digs late, yeah, you could throw less handle and get it to check up a lot late, like that last 10, 15 feet. I don't know that they would throw this, but it would be more available to them than it is to us.
There's just some things that the pros have that we don't.
Exactly.
It's not
Talent,
looks.
skill.
It's not looks. Maybe money.
Practice, a little bit of money. But Red's certainly looking at all their options. Bentley would very much like to at least get their 1 here. 1 is certainly not a disaster when you already have a 1-point lead, 5th end.
Looks like they're probably going to try the straight draw based on the ice they're giving.
Yeah, it's a draw that has some backing. I mean, if you sit on the
Either
back red, you would not count. You could wick off the yellow. You could You might get to that yellow in the back. Who knows? But you have a lot of room to draw anyway. You have 6-7 feet of room vertically.
Oh, we could have misread that. This may actually be a hit.
Just an in-off on the yellow, maybe? Danger here is if it hangs out, you could always jam it and give up 2.
This is looking really nice. It's got to get a roll inside.
I think it's just nose.
Oh.
Good effort.
It's going to be 1 yellow. Well, that's going to tie the game up. This is becoming an exciting game.
Yeah, tied with 3 ends to play. Hello, hello.
Still afternoon. Would you like a peanut butter pretzel? Got it.
It's got an interesting house on sheet A. A lot of rocks in the house. It looks like yellow is counting behind a red, and yellow's trying to put another one in the house. Perhaps get rid of that red in front.
Are you talking sheet A?
Correct.
Yeah, red has 1 top 4. But yellow is 2nd and 3rd, I think, over there. On B, yellow looking to get back in the game. They're sitting at least 2.
The top one may be in.
You take a quick look over there, just at least on our screen. Yeah, I think they're sitting 3 right now.
Sitting 3. And I think Diane had just thrown a shot where she tried to draw the button and came up short, leaving a center guard.
Yeah, this is the red hammer rock coming up too. So why don't we cut over there and just see if they can. Right now it's red's up 7-1, but this is a draw for 4, we believe. Which would,
Weight's all there. They're going to have to stay up. Let it curl.
Well, they're going now. I don't know if the weight is all there. It's close.
I think this has just enough to get into the front of the house. It'll sneak in for a 4.
They are really going hard. I think good call on the weight, because that is going to be a beautiful draw right to the top of the 4-foot. And that looks like 4 to us. You can see if they would look at it, but yeah, they're not even measuring. So, I think they agreed it was 4.
Well, some drama unfolding on sheet B. Team Muldowney allowing yellow to get back into it.
All right. Back
That's
to the
Team Lawler from Broomstones.
Yes, Team Lawler. All right, back on C, where we have a tie game in the 6th. Yellow did get a corner guard up. Red put 1, red put 1 top 4. Yellow has a corner guard up. Yellow just, unfortunately, got a piece of their corner and cleared out cleared out one of their rocks. The second one spun just out of the house. Red still has the hammer here in the 6th, yellow having stolen 1 last end.
So what's the tactic here for red? It looks like they're going to split the house. You would expect maybe they would have put up a guard.
Perfectly reasonable now to split the house. They got their 1 in, they can get their 2 in.
Do you think part of that might be based on the personnel for the other team? They're not as worried about being hit?
That's always a part of what you consider, your team's strengths, the other team's strengths. It could be as simple as, after this first rock, they're happy to throw a second one and split, figuring that's a perfectly easy way to get 2. If this one's going to come up just short, it looks like.
Well, I apologize to the team from Albany. I didn't mean to make them throw the the guard by talking about it.
Well, the guard's not a bad shot anyway.
No,
so.
the guard is a fine shot.
Yeah.
I think they may appreciate having it later in the end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, certainly. Yellow's second throwing her first rock, playing the hit here.
And this is looking to be well executed.
Yeah, hit and roll out. As long as it sneaks by that, which it will, that back yellow. Okay, great. Now red can try to make use of that guard they just threw. Good way to set up a deuce.
Well, and particularly the nice thing about having a guard up rather than two in the house is that hitting sticks don't put you in trouble. They actually
true.
help you.
Very true.
Working really hard to get this rock into the house. It looks like it's going to come up in the top house. Oh, even a guard.
Yeah, did not quite get there.
Oh, a center guard is really not opportune for red at this point.
Certainly not what they were looking for. You can use center guards and score your deuce. Just puts the danger of a steal back in the end for you. Should they manage to... Should yellow bury behind those, now you're risking giving up a steal.
So this is an interesting strategic question for our strategy ace here. Is this a shot where you would come in behind, or do you perhaps put up another center guard and really force the issue of a steal possibility?
I mean, a lot of that's going to depend on your preferences here. It's tied in the sixth. Good question. I'll put it that way. You can play either way. If you put something up tight to the house, they're probably going to peel it anyway, so you are making them waste some rocks. You can wait longer to go in. That's fine. I don't mind going right behind it, though. You're making them throw a run back. If they don't make it, you're going to put up, they're probably not going to try to follow you, because if they don't make it, now you really will start just building up the guards. And, run backs are hard. So if you make them throw a run back, that's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with throwing the guard either, though, for the reason you said. You can really start making them worry about that steal if you have several rocks out front.
Well, a couple of
more patient play, you're right. Yeah.
A couple of half-made shots here.
Sure.
Yellow was trying to draw in behind, left it exposed, and then red came down and hit it, but probably would have preferred to roll in behind the guards in the corner and left it exposed. Now yellow is having a kind of a change of heart, a little bit of a change of tactics to come around the outside. And they're probably going to find more frost out here, so hopefully the sweepers are accounting for that when they're reading the weight.
Yeah, they certainly got on it fast, as though they were worried. This has a little bit of a spin to it, which will give it a little extra carry, but, might just get there. It
looks like it's going to be a 3-2.
Yeah.
Well, now red is really in the driver's seat. If they can come in, put a second one in the house, they're going to really put the pressure onto yellow, be in a good position to score there too.
Sure. I think it would be better if that center guard just wasn't there for them, but yeah, they'll still, at the very least, yellow will have to make some nice shots to get out of trouble if red buries one here.
And a great scenario here for red is that if they are wide or heavy or both, that they have a split on their own to kind of create some separation between their rocks. That looks like what's going to happen. They're probably going to hit the outside shoulder and tap this red in behind the guards.
I think you nailed it.
Well done.
Absolutely. That rock is almost perfectly buried. Yellow may just want to come down to it. We'll see what she calls. She's just looking to come near it, looks like, even out count it. Excuse me.
Yellow looks a bit heavy here. I think this is board weight.
Yeah, a lot of carry to that. I think it's under there, but I think it's at least, it's going to end up near the hack, right? Yeah. No need to sweep it out. It's going, yeah.
Is yellow making a statement?
Well, what do you think here, Ed? Is the guard or is the tap back the better play?
I like the guard. I like even coming down to your red. I just don't want the guard to be high. If it's biting just outside of the house, anywhere in the house down to your red is probably good. You don't want to tap with any weight, because you definitely don't want to put it behind anything behind the tee line.
Right. This is looking like a really nice shot by red. They're working hard, but I think they've got plenty of weight. They may want to come up.
It's pretty close. That should be okay. Just don't worry.
They've created an easy double, unfortunately.
Yeah, nose with a good amount of weight will do it, but it is close to edge on the guard.
Yeah, anything control down could probably get there. Just a little bit of curl out of the stone, and you'll get to nose and get them both.
At least move the top one enough and get the back one completely out.
And getting across nose, you may even be able to sit shop buried behind guards.
That's what I'm saying. That top red doesn't even have to leave the house necessarily. You don't need them to if you move them to the... You'd like them to leave because you don't have the hammer, and you don't want to sit one rock with 3 reds in the house. But if you get across the face, you might bury. And if you get across the face at all, you're probably not getting rid of the back red because there's only a little bit of that front red touching there.
Right. This is the first real challenge for Skip Caitlin Statkus on her ability to throw a hit. She's mostly thrown draws the rest of the game, and
that's true.
Perhaps some of the strategy for red here was to say, well, she hasn't really gotten much opportunity to throw hits. Let's challenge her.
Well, here it comes. The sweepers are on it, although the line, it might be just a little tight.
This looks like a peel. Looks like a peel on the front red.
So close. Oh, just caught a piece. Oh, and missed the... Yeah,
really unfortunate there.
Just needed an inch, be an inch wider, and then she may make the double very well there.
Yeah.
So red's still sitting 3 as we go into the first skip rock for Kathy Bentley.
So another interesting strategy question for our strategy ace. Do you draw down onto your reds, or do you put up the high guard?
Don't want a high guard. Yeah, I don't mind drawing down to it or being close to it. I mean, you don't want to leave a triple, but the thing is, even if you somehow left a triple, you leave it somewhere where it's a triple and roll out, and you still have a draw for 2. Don't want to be too high. I mean, I think
maybe a biter.
Biter just outside the house is fine. You don't have to be greedy and sit 4th. If you do sit 4th, I don't think it's bad here, though, because there's not much left for yellow to do to count.
This shot looks like it has just about the right amount of weight. Probably going to be full top 12.
Even if you're down to your own, it's okay. So, yeah, if it's...
Oh, this is a beauty of a shot. Sweepers.
Yeah, that stops him. They did
Sweepers read it very well.
Yeah. Hard to get around. I mean, honestly, you might look at hitting the outside red and rolling in now. There's not much left to you. That also limits the potential damage at the same time as giving you a way to potentially roll all the way to the button and hit it just right.
Well, I think if I'm getting a read on the situation here, I don't think that Caitlin really prefers to throw hits. And
well, that might very well be the case.
I think the draw is probably the more comfortable play here for her.
Yeah, I was going to say where that red guard stopped likely makes, I mean, probably takes away the double because you're probably hitting the top red over the back one. Those 2 reds that are near the top would forfeit. If you hit it from the bottom side of the screen as we're looking at it, or if we go to this view, the right's the center line side. But what it does do is because that rock was just a little off center with those 2 reds, you might be able to tuck half a rock or more behind all those reds, make it a very difficult shot for Bentley to get you out of there.
I mean, certainly the back 4 is fully accessible on a draw line here.
Sure.
All they have to do is get half red.
All right, looks a little wide.
They may play in off of this red if it's got enough weight.
They might actually be wide of the red. They might have to go around it, or I don't know. There's much they can do with this.
Oh, they may promote this in.
I mean, that's unimportant if they promote it. It doesn't hurt.
Well, it creates backing for the draw.
Sure. And we have a draw to pretty much just touch the house. It's possible that the yellow is the bitiest of biters, but mostly a draw, just the
the toothiest of biters.
The toothiest of biters.
I think it's a gummer.
A gummer. Well, that's
we've got all sorts of.
That's the difference in age there. Speaking.
Wow.
Yeah, like if you're 6 months old.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you gotta watch yourself there,
In any case, Kathy Bentley drawing in here for 4th. Sweepers are on it.
Is he like a lot older than you that you said?
Yeah.
No, not you. I thought he was talking
No.
about him.
Oh,
He was talking about you.
no,
Oh, of course you are.
He's dissing me.
No,
Oh, this looks like it's going to come up a little bit short, unfortunately.
Yeah, just not quite going to get there.
And you know, when skips look back at games, those are the shots that they really want to go back and have another shot at.
Oh, sure, of course.
Because,
Throw miss, right?
you know, those free draws for an extra point can be critical at the end of a game.
Absolutely. Nonetheless, it is a 3 for Bentley, and they'll be pretty happy heading into the 7th with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, 3 is the biggest score we've seen on the board tonight, and I'd say this game hasn't been particularly open. There hasn't been a lot of opportunity to get big ends, and so Team Bentley has been playing pretty good defense without the hammer. I think they're probably going to be able to really force the issue here, keeping this clogged up in the middle and trying to create a force or a steal, and that would
Sure.
play significantly to their advantage up to coming home with the hammer.
Come on, New Year's Day then.
Or up 4 without.
Sure. Either way. All right. They're looking for a, looks like a tight center line guard if they can get it.
Let's see,
May even be playing it into the house, which is just fine here with the lead.
saying when your score is up.
And that looks like it might just be a biter.
That's a well-executed shot. I don't think Team Statkus
I
can
imagine
hit that.
Right. I imagine they won't, down 3, they won't be going after it anyway, so.
Well, yellow looks to be threatening again here on sheet B. Team Muldowney with Red Rocks is still up 2, but they are in danger with a number of yellow rocks sitting in the house of giving up the entirety of their lead and bringing this back to even. Team Lawler playing good catch-up here.
Yellow rock coming in looks just a bit heavy. Not sure. They may have been. I didn't take a look. We were looking over at sheet B, whether they were calling the hit or it was a heavy draw.
Yeah. Might not be. Don't know.
Sheet A has a significant pile of rocks in the center again. That's kind of been a theme over on Sheet A. They've had a lot of rocks in the house all night.
Red looking to put something behind their very tight guard or very close biter, one or the other.
I think they're going to take me out of this sport in the box because
There you go.
I just think
And this might be curling in real nice, actually, as it not going to get buried, but will be at worst edge to edge.
well, I'll tell you, it's really good.
Not a bad throw at all. Great weight on that rock.
Yeah, could have had a little bit more sweep to try to get that over underneath the guard, but I think they're going to be very happy with that shot.
Absolutely. Now Statkus definitely throwing the hit here. Looking to remove that.
Plenty of weight, needs to curl.
Certainly wants to stick around.
Here it comes. This is actually going to be a really nice shot. They might even get a roll behind the guard.
Wow, all right, and gets just an edge under that guard, too.
Well executed.
Yeah, about as good as you can make that shot, I think.
Yeah, because you don't really want to be fully behind that guard making a run back easy.
That's true. I'm also not sure you could have gotten much closer to the guard. Getting more of a roll with that weight was probably...
Right, that weight was up enough that you weren't going to get that kind of curl out of it.
Right. All right, we're in a bit of a hit game here, probably for the first time tonight, where Red now looking to bump out the yellow. Line's not there. They're trying to hold it to get a bump back on their red.
Looking like a flash.
I think they're by that as well, though. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It is just going to slide through the house. And yellow now can try to set something up to get some of the points back from last to end.
Were you here for something else? Or you just stopped by? Nothing. Yeah.
All right, yellow going to try to come around those staggered rocks by entering on the right side, getting around the red. use that Christmas tree to make it hard to get rid of this yellow they're throwing now.
Looks like she has too.
Line's closed. They have to just get it there. Looks like it might come up a little short. This side of the ice has not been played as much, at least not recently. I think this is just going to get over the hog line and be out there for a guard. More rocks can play, not bad for yellow, trailing, but not exactly what they were looking for.
Well, it's off center, and I think that's the most important result of that shot is that it creates wing play.
Absolutely.
Did you guys catch that shot Diane made? She got 2 out of it. I don't know if they ended up seeing it because they were talking at the end.
Red again playing this hit on the yellow. And they may get a piece. I don't think they're going to remove it, though. Maybe. Nope, pushed it back into the back of the house. Pushed it out so that it's not behind either of the guards, which is a big plus.
I have to wonder if they called that. Either way, she got more than her one, so that's all she really wanted. She ended up getting close.
Well, it looks like Team Statkus is trying to put one in the house here behind their guard.
Yeah, they're going behind the red rock, actually, here on the center line.
Now, it's interesting. They already were sitting one in the house. They could have gone for a hit and roll on that one on the center to open it up and sit 2.
Hard to count off of that. I mean, you can do it, certainly. I mean, this is going to be really nice.
This is a pretty nice result to get in there. A little unlucky to hit that red. They could have buried behind it.
Sure.
Would have created an easy run back if they did, though.
Yeah. Looks like Team Muldowney took 2 in the 6, open up a 4-point lead again on B.
Well, a bit of a miraculous shot, as Diane is known for having every once in a while. She was able to hit and roll and stick around after the hit on a probably quarter-buried shot edge-to-edge.
Wow, nice.
And get her 2 and really put her team in the driver's seat up 4 with 2 ends to go.
All right, another hit incoming for Team Bentley. They really want to just get rid of some of these yellow rocks.
This is going to be well executed.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
And they even stay on the rings. That's a bonus.
So I would think Statkus might consider coming around their high yellow guard, but it looks like they want to get behind that center red, so they may be afraid that if they go around yellow, red will just play a short tap back. And
yeah, and I think we're back to the main theme we'd been talking about tonight, which is the race to the 4-foot, and down 3, Statkus is probably feeling the pressure of, well, if we let them come into the 4-foot, we're just not going to be able to generate a big end.
Yeah, certainly.
This is looking like the sweepers are having to work really hard to even get to the top of the house.
They might get there, though. I think they're going to be counting at the end of this second shot, just barely. But the sweepers got it there by a couple inches. Yellow is 1-2 again.
Now, the placement of that shot is pretty intriguing because it really makes it difficult for red to hit and sit well and not give yellow an easy draw to sit another second shot.
Yeah, it's they've been putting them in places where red's either going to just be biting or. Now the downside of that is that again red will have a lot of taps late in the end if they keep getting these rocks that are just covering the top 12 or inches outside of the top 12.
That's very true.
So yellow could bury 3 or 4 rocks and red might still have a bailout shot.
Well, this shot is narrow out of hand, and they're going to have to really work to keep this from promoting this yellow off of that red. And they do.
And that yellow stays pretty much behind the guards.
Oh, man.
Unfortunate result there.
Well, if you remember high school English class, I think we can liken that tragedy to Macbeth.
That was a reach, but I like it. You really worked hard for that one, Mike.
Well, you know me. I like to work hard, Ed. So this is really the ideal situation for Team Statkus. They're sitting 2. They've got to draw in to sit third shot. Their big end is kind of apparating right in front of them. They really want to make it happen and get back in this game. Oh, this is going to be real frosty out here. They can't afford to wait.
So they got to make sure it's there.
Now, a guard here isn't bad.
That's true, too. They could guard their shot rock and have both of them guarded.
But they really would like to bite here. They're going to have to work hard for it.
I think they're going to be a few feet short.
I think they're just going to be
Yeah.
achingly close.
That is hardly a bad result here. They are sitting 2 both guarded.
What do you think for red here? Maybe one into the corner behind this high yellow guard? Or just put up a center guard.
It is getting late in the end. Your center guard is not terribly effective. You throw the center guard, they come around, and now you've just made your life even harder because you might give up 4. They may have to just come around. They could play. She's looking at a way to play a hit on this yellow, too.
I think that is inadvisable.
Depends if you're going to be, how confident you are about making it. You
Well,
can play a tap on the reds, too, which may or may not.
I think the tap is significantly higher probability of success.
Yeah.
That may be what they're lining up for. I mean, this broom could be the hit or the tap. It's hard to tell.
Excuse me. Hello, Allison and Jeff in the chat.
Hello, hello.
2 working feet. We didn't look at the chat for a while, so I have no idea what that's referencing, Allison. He said 2 working feet.
Well, if you've only got one, I guess if you make it work twice as well, you're just as well.
There you go. All right. Last rock for Bentley coming in here in the 7th. Big shot for them.
This is going to be light out of hand.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the first skips rock. You're correct. We have 2 rocks each.
I think the best result they can hope for here is to hit this about full 8.
They might get that tap and completely bury it. Excellent shot.
Well, that's got to be a heartbreaker for yellow.
Yeah, I mean, you can't prevent your opponents from having everything a lot of the time, and that was a danger there.
Well, what do you think? Maybe a draw down to this red. You can corner it and give yourself a chance to tap it back with the next shot?
Could. I mean, you can even hit and roll off the red guard and just leave that red. Hope you leave the back red exposed, but
it's significantly overburied. This is a really.
Well, that's
tough
what I'm
shot.
saying. You play. You can hit and roll off the front red, might roll onto the rings, and see what you get on your second shot. See if you have a better chance.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think, perhaps if you try the peel, you even get the run double.
Now, the thing is here, you can play for 2 by just out counting that red. You don't actually have to be frozen. If you're like even a third under the top red, you might leave, depending on where you leave your rock, you could leave all the hits where they jam back on the back red so that they can't choose to hit your rock, or at least it's very dangerous for them to do that.
Well, this looks like a heavy draw, but it's narrow the whole way. Their sweepers,
so they're just getting off of it right now.
I think they may be playing to run off and roll onto the rings, as you said, but
I think
it may even just tap it back.
Yeah, I think they're on the actually outside red, so.
Well, it didn't help their situation. Didn't hurt it too much.
No.
But red can easily come in behind this other guard, make a force happen, or perhaps a steal. Steal would probably end the game. So what do you think? A biter of the top 8, or do you try to just get it buried and make them draw for the 1?
Yeah, I don't mind bury. I'm happy to bury around that high yellow and just force them to draw for their 1 and come home with the hammer up 2.
Yeah, it's an aggressive play to try to just throw top house, bite the 8-foot to second shot.
Yeah, the problem there is that you often, even though it's a hard shot, why even leave them to double? If you put anything out in the middle of the ice, like it's in the top 8 or something,
The angles are very good for red in that situation where you would try the double.
Yes, but again, no reason to even bring that into play. Depending on where you leave the red, they may or may not be that good.
Yeah, that's true.
So she's drawn to the other side of the house, or even anything where there is no double, you're fine.
Yeah.
And as you said, it would be a very difficult shot even if they leave it. But
this is light all the way. They're going to have to work really hard to make this second shot. I think they're just going to get a center guard. a center guard really isn't bad in this
No,
situation.
I mean,
They
they're
cut
really
down-
working it, but
cut down the draw.
yeah, just going to come up pretty tight to the house.
I don't even know if Team Statkus has a shot to get to 1.
Oh, yeah, they can still draw this way and probably. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, tough to get to the 4-foot. You can throw
In off, possibly off the top yellow.
or in off. You can.
I don't think the angle's there though.
You only have to touch the 8-foot. You could probably come from the top of the screen or the right side of the house and maybe draw around your high yellow from the outside. It's not an easy shot by any stretch, but there's so much room. Yeah, there's like 12 plus feet between those two yellows on the right side. You can definitely draw
Even
through.
so, I think you still have to skinny that top yellow. Just get past it.
Well, if you're skinnied past the top yellow, you're already by the. You can see it from our angle. If you get close to that top yellow, you're good already.
Yeah.
You can probably get by it by a few inches if you have the right weight. I mean, if you really are down 3 and just don't like the idea of going, you feel like you need to try to get 2, you can. There are options to like run your yellow into the red. There's a lot of, depending on where you hit it, you might get a double. But I mean,
well, based on what they've gotten, they're probably doing a run back of this top yellow because it came out really narrow.
yeah.
From
Now, if they
end.
get just by it, they might
It's
be
gonna
trying
wick.
to play that hole. But yeah, I think she's just caught a piece of that yellow. Yeah.
Too bad. Well,
It's going to be a steal of 1.
Handshakes on sheet B.
Yeah, it looks like Team
Looks like-
Muldowney pulled that out. I didn't see what the scoring was in the 7th, but.
The power of the sequin shirts.
And we have handshakes on C as well.
Must have been red. That was the team from Cape Cod, the Crystal Ice Prancers. Take the
No,
win.
sheet C. Sheet C. Our sheet. Our game is over, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. A little bit of confusion there.
They're done too. No, they're not done.
Game A is the only game still ongoing.
Well, Crystal Ice Prancers lead on sheet A over the Avalanche.
Yeah, currently 7-2. Although yellow has 3 rocks. Here, I can cut back to the wide view. Yellow has 3 rocks in the 4-foot.
There may be a red rock there too. It's hard to tell with our buttons.
From here, it looks like there's not. Just looking
No,
visually.
I think you're right.
Mora here with the best pair ever.
Not sure what sheet C. There actually looked like there was perhaps some confusion, but yeah, they've shook and they're bringing the rocks back. Just wanted to make sure before I had to correct myself that the game wasn't over. All right, we'll watch
that
the
is
end
a-
of the end here, and then we can go over some of the highlights of our game on sheet C.
I'm very excited for those.
Oh yeah, that'll be a thrill.
If there's one thing that I love in life, it's going back and reliving the parts I've already lived.
Yellow drew for 4 on A.
Wow.
A 1-point game going to the 8th. Huge comeback there.
You can hear the claps. This is customary in the Nutmeg warm room
Oh,
to
absolutely.
clap for teams coming off the ice. It's a
Yeah.
gesture of appreciation for the effort put out on the ice, and I think it's a
Absolutely.
really nice way to come in, win or lose.
All right, we're going to switch to the near houses and the near A here. But as this end starts to unfold, let's just take a quick look at some of the highlights from our featured game tonight that we actually missed the first few ends because someone forgot to turn on the instant replay. That someone would be me.
Well, I wasn't going to name him, but, you know.
Yeah, crowd is not happy. And I didn't actually label them this time, but we'll figure out what's going on. So here we are on the 4th end. This was yellow down 4-1. Actually had this draw for 3 that just ended up a little heavy, wicked out. Gets there too, though. Made it a 4-3 game.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the closest shots of the game where we thought they came up a foot heavy or an inch too wide.
Yeah, next end, yellow was set up in the back of the house to steal 1. And as we watch this red rock come in, they looked for the wick off the yellow, just nosed it instead. Allowed yellow to take 1, tied it up at 4 after 5.
Yeah, red really struggled with the outside of the sheet the whole game.
Now, big moment here in the 6th, as Bentley was sitting 3. Tried to draw for 4, but even getting there 3 really really opened up the lead. And then this great shot in 7. That tap back just completely changed the nature of the 7th end, which really
that
gave
was
them-
really the shot that won the game right there.
And our final rock just crashed on the guard, which made it a steal of 1 and led to the handshakes, with the final score being Bentley 8, Statkus 4.
A well-contested game, a little closer than the score would have.
Oh, I'd agree. Really, one big shot in that 6th end completely changed the game.
Exactly.
Or the 7th, I should say. The one going back, yeah. Really changed
The 7th.
the game. Yeah. All right, a quick look in at the house here on A, our final game in play. Red has the hammer, is up 1. So the yellow did take 4 in the 7th to get right back in this thing. Red still has a bit of an advantage, of course, with the
So
hammer in a lead.
what's the strategy here for yellow? Down without the hammer. What are they planning to do?
You want some centerline guards, and you want to get around them to steal. Now, especially in the case where we don't have an extra end, where it's just a skip straw, stealing 1 here is excellent. I mean, just getting yourself back into that what's essentially a coin flip. Whether or not yellow throwing the hit there is the right call, the weight they threw is great, because you would love to keep those red rocks in the back of the house like they did. Moving the rock back to the back 8 rather than removing it gives you all sorts of things you could jam on later in the end. You'd love to have a wall of rocks back there by the end of the end.
Mm-hmm. Looks like red is just going to kind of try to come in here, control the top of the house by getting onto this yellow, maybe tapping it back a little bit. They really don't want rocks to sit around in the back of the house, so they'd prefer that this get the yellow out, but I don't think that's the result they're going to get.
Close, but a little late, yeah. I actually just got by it. All right. Yellow may want to bury 1 right in the back, or they could even try guarding this. It's not the worst rock to steal with, but with that good centerline guard, I think, okay, guarding it's fine too.
Mm-hmm. Even coming in and putting a center guard in behind that other guard that's biting wouldn't be awful.
No, not at all.
This stone is a bit wide to be guarding.
I mean, it's biting the forefoot. It's it's a lot of. If you manage to guard it till the end of the end and they have to outdraw it, you're putting a fair amount of pressure on it.
This
But
rock,
because of that really good guard, I mean, I would be inclined to draw around the guard, but I don't blame them for wanting to steal with this rock.
it's a pretty well executed shot. Leaves a little bit of the inside available, but I think they'll be happy with that.
Sure. And red looks like they're just going to get there first and try to play it for just whoever scores. And
Cue the theme of the night.
yeah, the race to the forefoot. Although they're thinking about it, they're looking at the possibility of playing a hit or.
I really like the shot selection of playing perhaps a hack weight hit, getting about a third or a half of that yellow rock, moving it behind the tee, coming into the forefoot off of it.
You could do all of that. It's
the reason I like that is because if you miss it, you peel away a guard, and that helps you too.
Unfortunately, missed the guard, and it might be a little heavy for what I think. Just going to the back 12.
That's too bad. This end is starting to shape up really well for yellow with lots of catchers in the back of the house.
Now I think yellow should really come behind that center guard. Not only are you then if you can get top 4 buried behind that guard, not only is that a great rock to steal with, it's also a rock that gives you a good chance of stealing 2.
Mm-hmm.
This makes sense too. They really want to just protect that rock. I would prefer to not leave when you have the option now pretty safely getting into the top 4 and cutting down the scoring area even more. I'd prefer that, but this makes sense. They want to completely close off access to their counter.
This rock looks a little hot out of hand. The sweepers aren't on it yet. Now they're getting on it for line, I think, more than weight. The weight is all there. That's a well-executed shot.
Absolutely. That's the way those rocks are staggered, I don't even think that you can use that yellow against them. So, excellent shot.
And the goal there was not to be second shot, though
Right.
they would have liked that. It was to make that yellow inaccessible.
Yeah, I think the skip originally tapped the ice outside of the house even. Just wanted that second, something to keep that rock out of.
Oh, we've got a screamer down the ice. They're looking for a peel. They're going to get it.
They're going to peel that top yellow. That jam doesn't matter, and red sits second now.
That red stone is good news for them because it's tappable. You can play in off it with a draw.
It's good enough that I'd be tempted to
take it out as a
take
yellow.
It out.
Roll to the top of the
four.
back
and roll to the top 4, roll to the top 8, whatever you roll to. Underneath the guard there.
Looks like yellow's still really worried about their shot rock out on the edge of the 4-foot.
Well, I think they're playing to steal with that rock. That's their. Although the line is called, I'm not sure if maybe they're.
I think they're drawing the top 4 now.
They might be, yeah.
If you can get half buried top 4, that's going to be very hard to outcount the yellow that's on the edge of the 4-foot with a hit. This rock looks wide all the way.
Yeah, and it may actually.
Well, I don't think the planned shot, but a result that they'll take.
Yeah, I think it's actually guarding their shot rock better than it was before now. No more access to the inside of that rock.
So we're kind of excited.
I think red still does have a back house draw through the port to tap that yellow back. And that looks like the shot they're playing.
Here it comes.
Oh, this is more than back house weight. They must be playing a straight hit.
I think this may just be a peel on the center guard. How it will work out.
Oh, this may jam. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Well, red still sits second.
Red definitely made things a little worse because she liked where that red rock was before, but at least it's still second back there. Now I think you just got to go around those two guards, or you could maybe what they're doing here is putting something closer to the center line.
What about top 12 on the center line?
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you don't have to be that deep, I don't think, but yeah.
Well, you don't want to give them something to draw behind.
Right.
And if they do somehow get behind it, you want to be able to run it.
Sure. Top 12 is fine. That's as deep as you want it, though. A 3 should be enough that on our ice you're probably not going to bury.
Well, this looks like it's going to be a full 4, maybe even a 5. Oh, it came way down at the end.
Come down, yeah.
That's going to be very nice.
That's fine. Again, you may want to use that too.
Well, this does give red an out. If they can bury one behind that, it's going to be very difficult for yellow to access it.
Yeah, you get through there. That's good. Then yellow would have to. The only downside yellow makes the run, you're then in even deeper trouble. But you can't worry about that at this point. You just got to get back there.
And this is the issue with leaving that a 3 rather than a 4. That the run back becomes incrementally harder the further you go out.
Sure. I don't know that you'd be unhappy with it. Because that whole other side of the ice is open to a draw anyway, I almost like something being high enough that you can get around it yourself, and you live with the idea that red could get around there before you.
This looks like it has plenty of weight. This may be a hit on the outside yellow.
I'm not sure. It's a little up. I don't know that it's enough to be a true hit.
Yeah, this is going to be at least back line.
I think it's closer to the button.
Wow, it really came down.
Yeah, very nice.
It's hard to see from the side. I suppose maybe I should be looking at the overhead.
Now that rock's not buried at all, so
yeah,
yellow can certainly play and try to, even if we look at the overhead again, try to play something downweight and just get at least partially under their guard.
The feeling I have about that shot is it was thrown by a stick curler, and there might have been a little more rotation on that rock than they wanted, which was why it didn't bury.
possibly didn't curl up as much. Brendan Botcher and Reed Carruthers are tied at 7 in the 11th end in a critical game on what Jeff Hannon would call virtual sheet D. Up in Ottawa at the Roar of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings or the Roar?
Roar.
The Roar. The Roar. The Roar of the Rings.
I avoided saying road, but not very well, because the Road to the Rings is the pre-trials, and the Roar of the Rings is the trials.
I think our strategy expert may need a refill on his drink.
It's possible at some point before I go home. A big game, because Carruthers actually gets into a playoff if he wins he gets into a tiebreaker for the playoff spot.
Well, and my fantasy curling career would thank him.
Yes, that's true. All right, shot incoming.
Looks like a hit and roll attempt
Trying to
here
play
by
the hit.
Yellow.
I think they're on it.
Oh, they may promote it.
They could. Could they get it just a touch?
Oh!
And they're counting. Again, Yellow is
Wow.
counting again. So.
But the draw is even a little easier now for
Yes.
Red. Come in behind that yellow guard to sit shot.
Yes. It is a naked draw again. There's nothing behind, to sit on anymore. But actually, you could probably. I mean, I don't think you'd play it that way. You could sit on your red, but you're not playing that draw anyway. You're playing towards the center line. So.
No. I don't think a sit on the red is going to be open for appeal.
Or a back. You just sit again and. Yeah. No, you're trying to bury in front of the tee line, or at least partially bury. You don't even have to bury because you have the last rock. So if you half bury and they're forced to hit, they're going to roll open.
Yeah, just half of the 4-foot underneath that guard is really what Red is looking for.
Yeah. First skip rock for.
No, I think this is the last Vice Rock.
Right here. No, it's the first skip rock, because that was just the first skip rock for the...
So they've got 2 stick curlers on the back end.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they're working really hard, and I'm not sure they have to.
I think the weight's all there. It might be nice, but the weight was all there.
Well, now it just needs to bury and sit. Well, this is going to be counter.
Be a counter.
But it's going to be exposed.
Still great weight, but yes, Yellow will be able to get rid of that. It might be just deep enough that it's hard to say that if Yellow gets on top of that, pushes it out or back, whatever, a straight hit by Red might only sit second shot. It's very close. In fact, but I would guess that would be the case where you wouldn't be able to hit for one on the nose. You probably wouldn't anyway, because even if it would, you'd have to be perfect or get just the right roll. But straight hit here, the upshot of that is that a straight hit here is not bad. You don't necessarily have to bury, because it's very hard to use that rock if you put a...
In fact, I think the roll makes their shot easier.
She can just throw the same exact draw.
Yeah, exactly. So I really do think just sticking this is probably the best result.
Yeah, nose hit puts 2 into play. A lot of jams in play potentially for 2, even if they overcurl but make the hit. But first things first, we do have to make the hit. Here comes last rock for Yellow in the 8th end. Sweeper's got on it quick.
This looks like it has plenty of line.
Yeah, I think the line's actually pretty okay. They're off it now. This is pretty close.
Oh, it's a little bit wide.
I think she's got it.
Came back nicely.
Great
well
shot.
done.
Yellow sits 2, and now it's quite obvious that you can't hit that. Not on the nose anyway. And, well, I shouldn't say quite. Yeah, no, you would not be counting if you nose that.
I think the only play is to come across the nose and try to use that red on the right side as a backer to keep you around if you're a little wide.
You could do that. You can play this hit and try to get the little roll, because if you get rid of 1, at least you have you're getting to an extra. Well, not an extra end, but to skip rocks.
Right. So what kind of weight do you think? I mean, as we discussed, this is a stick curler, and so curl might be a little different than the normal curler.
They're also looking at, that's a very difficult shot coming off your red. And I think that puts a loss much more into play than just hitting the top one and hoping maybe you get a quarter-inch roll.
What about the outside with maybe hack weight on that red that's on the side?
Well, that's what they were looking at. This one right here, right?
No, the one on the right side of the rings. That's just biting the forefoot.
I mean the yellow on the right.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the real way that you get to one easily.
I don't know that you... I mean, we can look at it from the other angle, too. It's hard to tell from either angle whether or not you can actually get there. It's pretty... To get across the face is difficult.
Well, I think... Again, it's hard to predict because we're not stick curlers, and we don't know how stick curler stones curl in regard to someone else.
Sure. I mean, some of that depends on how you release. There's some things you might say about stick curlers, but in theory, anything can be done the same. You just...
I would say that the stick curlers that I've curled with before seem to have a little more rotation than the regular.
So the rocks
curler.
tend to run a little straighter.
Yeah.
I mean, I really... Unless you're afraid... I mean, we just saw her throw a great draw on her first shot. I'd be tempted to hit one, get it out, and take our chances on...
go to skip stones.
Go to skip stones.
That's true, because the other skip did play 2 hits in a row.
Had to play 2 hits, yeah.
I mean, the shot rock is 95% accessible by a hit. So even if you're a rock wide, you should be able to peel it out and sit second shot with your rock that's just back left of the forefoot.
Yeah.
And go to an extra.
And as long as you don't move that red rock on the what's the bottom of the screen here.
There definitely is a jam in play if you don't curl up enough on that back yellow.
Yes.
May outcount that red.
Yeah.
A tricky shot here for red.
And they're taking their time discussing it, and it's hard to blame them because this is a very difficult shot. If you're trying to score, certainly a very difficult shot.
You know, there may be some merit here to overthinking the shot a little bit. That, you know, they may just be getting a little too technical about it. The more they think about it, the more likelihood they're going to get something dialed up that's just a little too intricate.
Someone once told me that every time they see a skip spend more than a minute or two down at the house, it's they tend to miss the shot.
What's the recommendation from
I said I would just hit this one in the open one.
skip draw if you don't get it?
She just threw a top button skip draw on her last rock. So.
And the other skip has thrown 2 straight hits.
So I think that's, and it's the safest shot. And there are ways you could just roll in the right way to count also.
But I think it jams if she gets the roll.
Sorry?
It jams if she gets the roll.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, here it is.
This looks narrow, right out of hand. They're working really hard to keep it straight. I think just going to be on the guard. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, good effort in a well-contested game.
And great comeback by Yellow, down 5 with 2 to play. Takes 4, steals 2 to win the game. So very exciting finish.
What time's the first draw tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen?
Alf Winter's asking what time the first draw is tomorrow. I believe it's 8:30 a.m. That'd be an 8:30 a.m. draw, Alf. So.
Well, any final thoughts on the first draw of our official streaming?
Well, I had a lot of fun tonight. The games we looked at tonight on the late draw were very competitive, very entertaining. So glad to be here to watch them and commentate on them. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. You know, the whole point of this is to bring more curling to more people, more of our fans, more fans from other clubs, and specifically for fans of of people curling in Nutmeg. And so we appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us late into the evening, and we hope you enjoyed the commentary and the coverage that we provided tonight. This is a new thing for Nutmeg, and we're looking forward to providing it even better in the future as we learn more and more about how our system works.
Sure. And I can't say for sure what time they'll be streaming tomorrow. We do have some snow coming into the area, which could play havoc either with the Bonspiel itself or with the people who are wanting to stream games.
Mm-hmm.
I will be back for the finals on Sunday to do those games, do the noon draw there. So I'll be back then. But there very well may be some streaming on tomorrow here and there. So look for that. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to do that. You'll get updates when we're streaming. So
just click that button, get us to 100 so we can have our own URL.
Yeah, click that button, folks. Click that thumbs up, click subscribe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, from Nutmeg, this was the Crystal Snowflake, and we hope you have a good night.